that has been wrested from an angry sea by a race that has for centuries struggled to keep under control that devouring and all-powerful element, water. It is a country that has been created by its own inhabitants out of mud, for almost half of the land is below the level of the sea. Volendam, a small fishing village on the shores of the Zuider Zee, is the spot chosen for most of the pictorial scenes, known the world over as representative of Holland. Red flannel underwear is the fisherman's only concession to the cold when he sails his boats into the icy waters of the North Sea. The Dutch are credited with being the first to establish Monday as wash day, and it has since been adopted by most of the civilized world. On Sunday, when the fishing fleet is in, Volendam takes on a festive air. The wooden shoes of the weekdays are discarded, and little feet suffer in tiny patent leather shoes. In matters of dress, the children are exact replicas of their parents. A well-groomed young lady in this quaint little village is expected to wear at least 7 petticoats, and underneath her white lace cap, a black skull cap, for it is considered indecent, even for a child, to allow her head to be exposed in public. The people of Volendam dress the same winter and summer, a tiny scarf being the only addition to the feminine wardrobe during the long, cold winter months. Not only in dress, but in manners and customs, the little Volendam boy is a miniature of his father, and he naturally aspires to be a fisherman, like his father and the fathers of all his playmates. The fishermen of Volendam have inspired many a well-known painting and have helped to spread the fame of their village throughout the world. Nearly every Dutch village has its town crier who announces the arrival of strangers, the latest birth or death, and also establishes the ownership of lost and found articles. Or perhaps, as he did today, he advises the people to clean their houses and weed their gardens in anticipation of a coming holiday. The Dutch have started upon the great work of draining the Zuider Zee, and when this task is accomplished, it will add 1/15 to the total of Holland's 12,000 square miles. In place of these little ships with their beautiful colored sails, will be pastures and orchards and rolling grassy plains. The Zuider Zee is the youngest ocean on earth. History records its birth by the inundations of the Middle Ages, and history will record its death when it is reconquered. Amsterdam, the capital and largest city in the Netherlands, owes its growth and importance chiefly to its position as the center of the world's diamond trade, as well as its connection with the development of the famous East India Company. There are about 2,000 miles of navigable canals in the Netherlands, and every house is a port where one may take boat for any part of the world. Spring is the season of the year when Holland dons her most colorful raiment, for it is then that the cultivation of bulbs is carried on extensively, and miles upon miles of tulips and hyacinths are to be found in their most perfect environment.
When the springtime comes to Holland, when the fragrant tulips grow, it is like a spot from heaven, just transported here below. And in fancy I can see her in that garden by the sea, where we stroll among the tulips, where she's waiting now for me. It's tulip time in Holland. Tulips I know are lonely. The sweetest lips in Holland are blooming for me only. I'd give the world if I could stay back there beside her by the Zuider Zee. It's tulip time in Holland. Tulips are calling me.
Tulips were first introduced into Holland from the Far East about the middle of the 16th century, and the curious demand for them eventually led to one of the most extraordinary speculative manias the world has ever known. Much of the ordinary trade of the country was given up, and the usual occupations of the citizens were neglected, so that more time and money could be given to this new and quick method of becoming rich. Fabulous prices were paid for rare species. A prize of 100,000 florins was offered for a black tulip, a feat that was considered impossible at the time. Anyone who has read Alexander Dumas' story of the black tulip will know with what difficulty that prize was won. Today in Holland there are still a few rare specimens of this same black flower, and a halo of romance still lingers around it. Holland has ideal climatic and soil conditions for the production of bulbs. And when one adds to this the knowledge that has resulted from years of patient enterprise and research, one understands why it is that the Dutch have attained their enviable reputation as bulb growers. 5 years are required for the full development of the bulb. Bulbous plants have gradually developed the habit of making growth one season and storing food in an underground storehouse or bulb until the next. For this reason, the beautiful blossoms must be removed as soon as they reach maturity, in order that the strength of the bulb is not impaired and that it may bloom again in all perfection. In each field there is a pathetic mound of dead flowers, for it seems there is no way to profitably utilize these discarded blossoms. Perhaps there is no chapter in the story of mankind which has endowed a country with more color and romance than has that of the tulip industry of Holland. For not only has this glamorous occupation converted it into a dreamland of floral rainbows, it has also contributed to Holland's commercial importance among the nations of the world, so that today there is hardly a cultivated tulip growing in the gardens of the Western Hemisphere that did not have its distant origin in one of the tulip fields of Holland. Truly, a no more poetic tribute could be given to any country than the fact that it developed and gave to the Western world one of its most colorful flowers, the tulip. And it is with this thought that we say farewell to Holland in tulip time.